All right, so we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Shining Light. I am so excited to bring our guest on today. She is going to be helping our female entrepreneurs, but I think everybody's going to get some really great tips from what she's going to be sharing today. Before I get to her, I just want to let everyone know that the Pedal for Purpose fundraiser that we are doing to raise money for the children in Haiti has taken off. We have several riders registered. We are riding over 100 miles from Somers, New York to Battery Park, New York City and back. And we have several riders. We have some donations coming in. We have sponsors coming in. So it is really, really cool. If you want to take part in this awesome fundraiser to help the children in Haiti, their medical needs and their educational needs, just go to joinpedalforpurpose.com. Are you ready to figure out how to get your financial future in order and be able to scale and franchise in an easy way? Well, my guest today is an expert in this. I want to welcome her to the stage. It is Brittany Lincoln, and she is a founder, but also a partner at Limitless Franchise Growth. She is also the founder of Females in Franchising, which is a platform dedicated to empowering women. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you on. Let's talk about the first thing, which is your other company that you work within, which is Limitless Franchise Growth. You're a partner there. And I mean, based off of the name, I'm assuming it has a lot to do with growing your franchise.
Yeah. So we're what's called an FSO, which is a franchise sales organization. Think of us as like your sales arm if you are an emerging brand, either that's already franchised or maybe you know that you want to franchise your business. So I've been in the industry for 13 years. Some of my partners have been in the industry for a few decades. And so we come in and we help you scale and grow. We have connections with consultants who are a great resource to bring high caliber prospective franchisees. So yes, our goal is to help brands grow and have unlimited potential. And we basically become their outsourced, sales and franchise development team.
And it's important that we bring this up because your other focus is really on the female entrepreneur, but at LFG, which we love that entendre, at LFG, at Limitless Franchise Growth, you're helping all sorts of different types of entrepreneurs from every gender, every background, being able to help them expand their brand, right?
Yes, absolutely. And even any type of franchise. I mean, you have home service, you have brick and mortar. It's kind of crazy. Today, there are over 3,000 franchisors, so franchised businesses in the US, and there are over 800,000 like franchise establishments. So franchising is big business, and there's new ones coming out all the time. But yes, we don't discriminate at LFG. We work with anyone.
That's awesome. And just for some perspective for everyone, we have different types of entrepreneurs, small business owners. What would be a reason that they would want to franchise?
Yeah. So honestly, scaling, there are obviously tons of options out there, right? You could bring in private equity, you could, try to get backed by venture capital. Some people are bootstrapping it, which I totally get. But when you scale through franchising, you're basically bringing in, franchise owners who are going to come to the table with their experience, their money. And yes, they're going to take your baby and you're not going to fully own it anymore, but it can be a really great way to scale and get into other markets without having to use all of your capital or bring other people to the cap table where you're giving up a ton of equity. So I think it's something that not everyone thinks about, right? I'm sure there's some fast food chains that come to mind when we say franchising, but there are pet franchises, there are kid franchises, there is a franchise to come and clean your grill. There's a franchise for almost everything. So it's a really great way to scale.
What's the minimum barrier to entry?
Oh, that's a great question. So I always tell people there's three things that you really need to have before you even broach the topic of should I franchise your business. The first is probably going to be wildly obvious, but is your business profitable? If you're going to want to get other people involved and buying into you, you got to be making money. So that's number one. Number two, is your business repeatable? Can it be repeated in another market? Do you have a business that is so closely tied to you as a founder that no one else is going to be able to do it? Or do you already have systems and processes in place that you could copy and paste? So the repeatability, right, as I like to say. And then the third thing, and I think there's being a light kind of shined on this lately of founders, your personal brand. I always like to say, are you a founder? Is your personal brand one that other people are going to want to get behind? Because they are going to be buying into you and your brand. And so you've got to be ready to step into that role. If you're no longer a business owner, you're a franchisor and you're now helping other people become business owners. So that would be my high level. And then from a capital investment standpoint, we're talking high six figures, if not seven, just to really make sure that you have enough capital to do things like you have to form a franchise disclosure document, an agreement that gets filed with the Federal Trade Commission. You might have to hire more people to build out your support team. So there's a lot that can go into that, not just human capital, actual capital, blood, sweat, and tears, but it can be done. And LFG helps people do that.
That's so cool. We're going to be transitioning into what you also have, which is your platform for female entrepreneurs. And I think one of the statistics to bring up, which is one that you shared with me, is that as we're talking about this franchising opportunity and how great it can be for businesses, only 20% of women are franchisors. And so, which led you to obviously form this platform for them, which is females in franchising. So let's speak to that number. I think, like, why is that number so low, and what is your platform going to do to help empower more women to maybe change that number?
Yeah. So I apologize. I'll do a slight correction. So it's really that only about 20% of franchise businesses are owned by women. I have to say, I've tried to look up and it's a little bit harder to find the stats. Some people have sold, some people still have board seats. But my guess would be it's actually far less than that in terms of like female owned franchise businesses, people at the franchise level. And it's only about that percentage for women that work in leadership roles like VP and C-suite positions within franchising, even though franchising as a whole employs like over 8 million people. So few things there, right? Like we're underrepresented when it comes to how many women own franchise businesses. We're underrepresented when it comes to, C-suite and leadership positions. And so I do want to change that. I want to try to pull more people into the industry and even have more female founders think about franchising their business, because as we discussed, it can be such a great way to scale. And I felt like the best way that I could do that was through like an online social networking platform, because as women, not to say that men don't, but we tend to seek community. And there are tons of online communities out there for women executives and women entrepreneurs. But franchising is like this interesting middle ground where, our like, I would say what we come up against, as executives, not quite the same as if you just work in the corporate world and for a, Fortune 500 company. And for sure, the business owners, they still deserve credit. They're still doing what 99% of people won't do by investing in and owning a business, but they have a franchisor and they have a playbook to follow. And so they don't quite feel like they fit in to those, platforms that are for, female entrepreneurs. And so this is my idea of like, let's bring that together. There's not a community out there designed exclusively for women that work in franchising, own a franchise, are a founder, want to get educated on it, and bring that together so that I can help, bring community, bring collaboration, elevate them, empower them, both professionally and personally. And so that's my goal. And there are some fun stats out there too, and maybe some people have seen them, but I always had male mentors when I first entered the industry 13 years ago, and I love them. And I wouldn't be where I am today without them. For the last 6 years, I've had some female coworkers that have become mentors, and it's just been a game changer. And they say, and this is across anyone, that if you have a mentor, you are 5 times more likely to get promoted and elevate yourself in your career than if you don't. So that's also part of what's kind of driving my passion of like some of these younger women entering the industry, or you have a young founder that's thinking about franchising, like how can I bring everyone together, create that mentorship, and help us level up?
Mm. And what I'm hearing in there is there's a lot of benefits to this social platform that you're speaking to. I'm curious on, as we're talking about this mentorship and this connection and community, I'm curious on how this social platform is going to make those connections for them. So we come into a room, hi,
Yeah.
my name is, and then it's, I'm looking for a mentor or I have questions about my franchise. How are you making it to where when they come into this platform, it's easy for them to access these different benefits?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways. So it's going to be on Circle, if anyone's familiar with the Circle platform, which is great. It's going to kind of operate a little like Facebook, a little like LinkedIn, where you are going to join and you're going to introduce yourself. And there's going to be a wall of everyone saying, here's who I am and here's what my expertise is. I'm also going to have everyone share what their give is and what their get is so that everyone can see as these people enter this community, hey, I'm here to give this and I'm here to get that. So I do want to bring in people that want to be interactive. I'm planning to do monthly calls where I bring in experts, both in franchising, but even in things like business and wealth management, because again, those are some things that women don't always learn about or doesn't always get talked about. So I want that professional and personal benefit. But I'm also going to do like weekly mentor meetings where people that are part of the community, maybe someone like me that's been in the industry a long time, volunteers their time for an hour to just say, hey, if you have questions, if you're new, if you want to talk about a challenge that you're facing, Brittany or so and so is going to be hosting this Zoom for an hour this day, this time. Join, like, let's chat. So there's a lot of different ways. And then eventually, I'm going to have some cohorts where I kind of parse people out, right? Obviously, franchise owners, there's certain things they're going to want to talk about, connect about. Are they in the same city? So I have plans to do like in-person meetups, as great as virtual is, right? Hey, let's get those same, franchisees that are all in one market together. Same with people on the development side. And then really want to have an incubator for female founders where they could come in and learn from people like me and other experts in the industry. Hey, before you even chart down the path of investing the money, time, effort of franchising your business, let's make sure that you understand what that looks like, what the pros are, what the cons are from experts in franchising to then make the decision of, yes, I want to hire LFG or someone like us to go down the path.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing there is there's a lot of hands-on, a lot of so it's a social network, but a lot of hands-on, a lot of education. I like the plans for the future of these different groups and these different incubators. I think that that's really important when we look at these different social networks that are available to us. I think as an entrepreneur myself, we we get a lot of emails, we get a lot of asks to join different social platforms, obviously LinkedIn being one of the biggest ones and the one that pretty much all of us are on. But these little niche ones, it's like, okay, what about this is gonna help me go forward? And what I like about yours is that it's hands-on. You have, like you said, there's this mentorship component. I love this give and get. I really love that because at the end of the day, we are all there to receive something, but it's nobody wants to give you anything if you're not giving back. So I love that you're asking for both. I think that's really, really cool. And I think in terms of the future of it all, in terms of the in-person meetups, that's what it's all about. Meet online so that we can kind of like break the ice, get to know each other a little bit. But it's really all about that like physical contact, that handshake and that hug. Like nothing goes deeper than that. It's so, so cool. I love what you're doing there. Could you share with us then how we can, I understand the platform's not live quite yet. It's still in the works, which is so
Yeah.
cool. So I understand there's a wait list for this, which is also
Yeah.
really cool. So two things for everyone listening and watching right now. Before we even tell you how to get on the wait list, why is it so important, Brittany, for someone to get in at the ground level right now?
Yeah, so we are going to be doing some fun stuff for founding members, little swag and things like that. I personally love my branding, but I'm obviously a little bit biased, but I've got some fun swag and things like that planned. I also actually really want to make it collaborative. So as of right now, I'm planning to kind of bring in the first 50 members and let them actually give me some feedback of like, hey, what did I miss? I mean, I'm not here to say like I've thought of everything. I'm trying. So I would also say that would be an advantage of, hey, if you get in on the ground floor, I'm going to want to have a one-on-one with you and hear you out of what are you looking for.
So
So I'm
cool.
super excited. I'm going to have a lot of stuff in there, for people to be able to digest and connect with others. But I would say if you become a founding member, if you're one of the first 50, there'll be some swag, some feedback, and some good things.
So how can people get on this wait list?
Yes. So if you just go to www.femalesinfranchising.com, do have a little bit of a story there about me, about my why, a lot of what I shared today. But there is a join the waitlist button on every page. You shouldn't miss it. So www.femalesinfranchising.com, and you'll be able to sign up and join the waitlist.
And of course, that link will be in all of the comments, so you'll be able to find it there and learn more. You could also visit all of Brittany's social profiles and be able to find links to it. I'm pretty sure. I think too, in terms of like my question and your answer there of getting in on the ground floor, it's so cool when you are part of something and you actually know the founder. And I think when you get in on the ground, I know when you get on the ground floor and you get to meet the founder, you as the founder, Brittany, you hold those people in a different light. And so like as 5 years go on, 10 years go on, it's like you guys have a relationship that is so different from everybody else's. Not to say that everybody else isn't in the same kind of like atmosphere, but they're different. If you get in right now, if you get in at the ground floor and you're part of that creative process, you're part of that one-to-one process, you're part of the people that helped lay the foreground for the rest of them. It is just so different in terms of the relationship and the resources available. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. And I agree.
I concur. I love that. So finally, my last question for you, and I say this, I asked this question a little bit knowing the answer. I have two daughters, and I have an awesome, my mother was a great role model, I think, for women. I think she's a great role model for my daughters in that in being able to elevate her career and do all the things that she did all the way into retirement and even after retirement, from being a part of a founding member of the non-for-profit Forgotten Children of Haiti to all of the other things she did in the Board of Education and currently does today. And then my wife is a powerful woman as well, coach, a mentor to other young females in our community. So I'm going to ask this kind of loaded question because I really want it to resonate with everybody listening and watching right now. You have a focus on female entrepreneurs, and you have a focus on female franchisee owners, and you have this platform now that is to empower these women. And so my question for you is, why is it so important for these women to be empowered? Why is it so important for women to change that number? I know that the statistic's wrong, but to change that 20% and increase it to 30 and 40 and 50. Why is that so important today?
Yeah. Well, I'll start by saying I think for too long, and even still today, we're just always sort of told as women and expected as women of like, just do it on your own. You can do it. I'm a mom of two, right? I know what it's like to juggle work, life, kids. And it's like, just do it, just do it. And yet, there are so many groups and outlets and organizations and golf outings and you name it for the guys. And again, I'm not hating on the guys, but there just aren't as many things for women. And I think we need to stop this narrative of like, just do it on your own. You'll figure it out. Just make it work. Just juggle this. I don't believe that work-life balance exists. I think you have to, elevate your family when you need to elevate your family and elevate your job when you need to elevate your job. But coming together and having a tribe of like-minded people, the guys need it too. But for us women, where that everyone showing up in this platform wants to be there, wants to give something, yes, wants to get something, is so powerful because we don't have to go it alone. And you go so much further together, right? There's, I think, a famous quote. It's, said a lot of different ways, but it's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I've always believed that. My family's motto is teamwork makes the dream work. I know you're a coach and a sportsman, and I think that transcends, life. And so I just really want women to have this team. I mean, quite frankly, I want women to have what I didn't have. When I first joined franchising, it was a boys' club. And it was tough to learn, and it was tough to break into. And I want to change that for the women in our industry. And I think on the franchisee side of things, there are a lot of women getting disillusioned with corporate, and to know that you could be an entrepreneur but have it be a little less risky by investing in a franchise where you have support, you have a playbook, you're in business for yourself but not by yourself. Again, I would love for more women to know about that. And I have so many amazing female consultants that I've worked with over the years that would guide, even if there's a woman listening to this that goes, oh, wow, I never thought about owning a franchise, but maybe that should be something I do to elevate my life, build wealth, all the above.
So cool. Great answer. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think all the women watching right now know why this is so important. But for all of our men out there who have spouses, who have a business, share this with them as well. Who have daughters who are up and coming, share this with them as well. I want to thank you, Brittany, so much for coming on today. It's always so great to learn more about what's going on in the business world, not just in the entrepreneur world or in the corporate world, but also in the franchise world. So thank you for bringing that together. Again, get on the wait list. It's so simple. Follow Brittany on all of her social platforms, but just go to femalesinfranchising.com and get on that wait list ASAP so that you can be on the ground level. I want to thank you so much for coming on today. I always like to give my guests final word on your thoughts today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for shining a light on me. And I so look forward to anyone that joins Females in Franchising, because I want to shine a light on you.
Awesome, Brittany. Thanks everybody for watching. As always, The Shining Light, we are live every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank you all again for your time today. Visit femalesinfranchising.com. And as always, stay happy and stay healthy, everyone. Bye.